like that is almost impossible, I feel, and here you are just like in your bedroom doing like self-producing, right? You do all your own music?
Everything.
That
I'm too
is
scared to show anybody else.
amazing.
Like, I'm just gonna do it all myself.
That is so amazing. Like, I'm really envious of that talent. So you do everything yourself, you play a whole bunch of instruments, your music's amazing. What got you all into this? What started you when the music path and career?
Well, when I started, I wanted to be a guitar player forever, but I started off playing drums just because they just were easier to kind of catch on to and stuff. And then I started doing that when I was like super young, probably like 3 or 4. So by the time I was like 14 or 15, I started doing guitar. In high school, I kind of got good at it where I started recording my own songs. And then by maybe my last year of high school, so I guess my senior year of high school, I started recording music myself and kind of feeling comfortable and doing all that stuff.
What is your favorite part of like the recording process? What is your favorite instrument to play?
I like playing all of them. I mean, honestly, like all completely equally. But I think my favorite part of the whole process is finishing it and being all done with it. My least favorite is mixing because it's the worst.
No, that is actually a really good answer, and I feel like every single musician out there is just like, yeah, yep, empathizing with that right now.
Love being done.
So, again, you released 2 freaking albums within like literally the span of a couple months. That blows my mind if I've not already iterated that enough to you, audience. What was that process like? What was like the mental strength that you had to be like, I'm gonna put out 2 albums?
The mental strength. I mean, I started in December of last year when my old band was kind of beginning to kind of drift apart. And I recorded a few songs and I didn't really do too much with them. It was kind of like Sam, like I wasn't expecting to make an album or anything. And I didn't tell anybody about it either, which made it kind of easier to do it that way because I just didn't feel like I had anybody to impress. So in January, I put the first one out. And then immediately after that, I got to work on the second one from pretty much scratch. Like there was nothing that was pre-written or anything. Yeah, so.
That is so wild.
Yeah. I just have a lot of time on my hands. It's just kind of how it goes.
Hey, if you have the time, do it. And that's a good utilizing your time well, you know, because most people are just like, I'm just gonna do nothing and waste my life. And you're like, no, 2 albums, like every other month there's gonna be a new album.
I know. When I started the No Lungs thing, I was like, I'm gonna try to just put out as much music as I can. So.
That is honestly really inspiring and makes me like, oh my gosh, I should get up and do stuff with my life.
Oh my god.
You've been playing a while. You know pretty much every musician out there. I feel like every time I meet a local Arizona musician, they're like, oh, Austin, I know that dude.
I'm like, that's cool actually. I didn't know that. Okay,
so
cool.
Obviously there's a lot of people out there that like look up to you and know you. So what is something that you'd want to tell them and be like inspired or have them be inspired by?
I think the number one thing I can say is that, well, the thing that kind of keeps me going is that from the get-go, I'm only doing it for myself, which is really nice because you don't feel like there's really like, when you say that you're doing it all for yourself, if you fail at something, it's not magnified to the point where you're thinking of so many other people doing it. And at the same time, I guess the number one thing I would say to anybody who's just trying to do music or anything is to kind of just be happy with what you're doing and be happy with putting it out and stuff like that, and don't expect too many people to listen to it when you start off. Maybe down the line people will listen to it, but I guess starting off it's easy to get discouraged. So believe in yourself.
There you go. Do it for yourself.
Yeah.
That's important. All right, last question. If you could be in any sort of band or hang out with any sort of musician in the world ever in the history of time, who would it be? Like if you could go on tour with them or be them or like be just part of their band?
If I could hang out with any musician in the world, I feel like, well, number one, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to play in any bands. I'm happy with the one I'm in. I like that. But if I could actually hang out and maybe even just get coffee and just hang out, it'd be Dave Grohl. Just because I know he's got a lot to say. He's kind of like a veteran, and I feel like I could just learn a lot.
That is a really good answer. Like, that is actually a good answer. All right. So again, who are you? What are your albums? Where can we find you? What's your social media?
My name's Austin. I play in No Lungs. And the albums, I mean, you can find everything at No Lungs AZ is where you can find it on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and stuff. NoLungs.bandcamp.com is where you can find the albums and songs, but they're also on Spotify and Apple and everything like that. And that's it. Come to a show if you're in Arizona.
eternal slumber. What a wonder, it's the little things about you. They said nothing is just left, now you're left.